All right, let's dive into something we've all experienced. Those super confusing, really frustrating conversations that just leave you wondering what even happened. This is all about how to spot, understand, and deal with passive aggression and manipulation.
You know that feeling, right? You walk away from a chat feeling, well, kind of weird, a little bit angry, maybe, and just totally confused about why. Your gut is telling you something was off, but you just can't put your finger on it. And that feeling, that's your first clue. Before we even get into the nitty-gritty definitions, we have to start right there. We have to acknowledge that your gut feeling is real, and the emotional toll this stuff takes is absolutely legitimate.
And yeah, look at this list. This is what it feels like. You feel the confusion because what they're saying doesn't match the vibe they're giving off at all. The frustration because you can't just have a straight-up conversation. Then that little voice of self-doubt starts creeping in, making you wonder, wait, is it me? Am I the problem? And it just spirals into anger, guilt, and honestly, just total emotional exhaustion. Trust me, it is not in your head. These feelings are pretty much the goal of this whole communication style.
So, what are we really dealing with here? Let's put a name on it, so we can actually understand how it works.
So here it is, the official definition: indirect resistance combined with the avoidance of direct and clear communication. Basically, it's hostility that's trying to hide in plain sight. It usually comes from someone who's afraid of direct conflict, or maybe they want to control the situation without actually taking any responsibility for it. It's all about that gap between what they say and what they do, leaving you to try and figure out the real message.
Okay, and this is so important to understand. Not all conflict avoidance is a bad thing. Sometimes letting the small stuff go is actually healthy. You can see on the left, the whole point is to keep the relationship harmonious. But look at the right column. With passive aggression, the goal is to get that hostility out indirectly. Big issues get buried, and that's where resentment and mistrust just start to fester. It's all about the intention behind it. So now that we know what it is, how do we spot it? Out in the real world. Seeing the patterns is the absolute first step to breaking that frustrating cycle. Because this stuff is designed to be subtle, it can be really hard to pin down. But once you know what to look for, it becomes so much easier to identify. So let's break it down. First up, let's talk about the verbal stuff, the words. You've got your classic backhanded compliments like, wow, that's a great idea, for someone at your level. Ouch. Then there's sarcasm, which is the perfect shield, right? They can say something nasty and then just hide behind, what? I was just joking. We also have cruel humor that pokes fun at your weak spots. Patronizing language that makes you feel like a little kid. And of course, those super vague statements that just keep you guessing what they really mean. It's all about plausible deniability. And then there are the actions, which can speak way louder than words. The silent treatment, or stonewalling, is such a powerful way to punish someone without saying anything. There's also deliberate procrastination on something they promise they do. Intentional mistakes, sometimes called learned helplessness, where they act like they're just not capable of doing something to get out of it. The indirect refusal, saying yes to your face, but then forgetting all about it. And the big one, ghosting, just disappearing. It's all about resisting without ever having to say the word no. Okay, now we need to talk about a really damaging one, gaslighting. The definition is right there. It's making someone question their own sanity, memories, or perception of reality. It's a scary term, but it's a real thing. The goal is to slowly chip away at your reality until you become dependent on their version of what's true. And this is what it actually sounds like. You're being too sensitive. That one just dismisses your feelings completely. That never happened. A flat-out denial of your reality. Or you have a bad memory, which is an attack on your own mind. When you hear these things over and over, you can genuinely start to believe them. Okay, we've gone through the problem, we've seen the red flags. Now, for the most important part, what in the world do we actually do about it? Let's build your toolkit. So this is all about responding, not just reacting. Let's walk through it. First, recognize the pattern. Just see it for what it is. Step 2, address it as soon as you can. Don't let it sit and build up resentment. Step 3 is so important. Use I feel statements. Saying I feel confused by that joke is a statement about you. Saying you're not funny is an attack. Big difference. Then, step 4, offer a joint solution. Be the one to model that direct, healthy communication. And finally, number 5, stay calm. If you get angry or frustrated, you're just playing their game.
So that toolkit is great for handling things in the moment, but what about the long game? For your own well-being, we have to talk about the most foundational strategy of all, setting boundaries. And this, right here, is the absolute truth. You can't force someone else to change. You just can't. Your real power isn't in changing them. It's in changing what you are and are not willing to accept. Your power is in your own actions.
So how do we actually do that? Well, here's the playbook. First, clearly state what you will do. Not what they have to do, what you will do. Like, if you continue to make jokes about that, I'm going to end this conversation. Second, make sure the consequence fits the action. And third, and this is everything, you have to be consistent. You have to follow through every single time. If nothing changes, well, you might need to limit your time with that person. And please remember this last point. It is not your job alone to fix the relationship.
And that brings us to the most important takeaway of all. Your mental health comes first. You absolutely deserve relationships that are built on direct, clear, and honest communication. So maybe the final question isn't just, how do I deal with this? Maybe it's, what kind of communication am I going to choose to have in my life? And the answer should always, always be clarity.